The Outer Worlds is a game filled with different endings depending on the choices you make throughout your playthrough. There are various weapons that you can choose to help you out on your adventure, from a hammer, blessed by the gods, to a gun, blessed by Auntie Cleo herself. And the weapon that I chose to use for this playthrough were revolvers, because I never got to play cowboys and Indians as a child and wanted to live the experience of blasting an Indian in the head. So I started up a new game on hard, because I like it hard. Put my attributes into dexterity, intelligence, perception, and temperament. My skills into range and stealth. And because I'm a cowboy who asks questions and shoots later, I picked up the Elevator Operations Specialist as my aptitude. Created my character, and due to the radiation that I was exposed to as a child, I now have the ability to read in Braille, and I can't aim down the sights. Called myself Longjaw Jim. I was kidnapped by Phineas and told to save all my cowboy brothers and sisters. Emerged from my mechanical womb, landed on some idiot, and began my adventure to save my long-lost revolver. Patched up a guy who got shot, took his gun and shot him, realized that I'm not using a revolver. I took out my anger on his dick, reloaded a save, saved some slices of bread, and found my first obstacle. You can't pass this area without blowing up the barrels, and came to the conclusion that you can't beat Outer Worlds with only a revolver. Shot the barrels, Naruto ran from some super evil bad guys, met this fine lady and sent her to die, looted the dead bodies, watched this guy do a Fortnite shuffle, listened to Ada, leveled up, listened to this guy, skillfully sneaked past some marauders and watched them disappear behind a rock. Walked into some guy's house and finally found my revolver sitting inside this locked storage container, along with an eye patch, and became the most cowboyiest cowboy known to law. Sold all my stuff and bought another revolver, because weapon durability in this game goes down as fast as a small child with 100 pounds of weight strapped to its body and told to swim from the deep end to the shallow end of an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Watched poor Parvati being scolded like the bad kitten that she is, and picked her up as a meat shield. Decided to do one side quest for XP and money, got dissed by everyone for my fresh getup, completed my quest of killing 2 of the 4 death-skipping hooligans, picked up some more ammo and heals, and was on my way to the hippie zone. Found a few marauders, got a sweet double kill and leveled up during the fight, arrived at the Botanical Gardens, and spoke to Grace Romero's hat. Then a rock, found her surfing the grass like a pro gamer, and found out that this whole town was full of avid surfers. Reloaded a save so I can actually talk to them. Stole a bunch of stuff, and fast traveled to the geothermal plant. The dumb robot hit itself with a bomb before I could. Rescued another revolver. I heard a baby crying and rushed to the rescue. Found a large baby, asked it questions, then killed it to prove that this is indeed a baby, because we all know that only babies die to bullets. Programmed the robots to attack each other and watched as the victor did a cool pose. Parvati took another nap. I woke her up with the butt of my gun and continued. Congratulated the robot for killing its brothers with the most highest honor that I can bestow upon it, that being a single bullet to the head. Parvati said words and I rerouted the power to Edgewater. Fast traveled to the Botanical Gardens to get the power regulator from the old hag. Parvati liked that this town was dying.
Gosh, it's so pretty.
Tried to convince everyone in the gardens to come back to Edgewater by using the power of killing their leader with my bullets. I died a few times, more than I'd like to say, trying to kill every one of God's little mistakes. And finally put everyone out of their misery of being alive after I found myself a roof to hide on and shoot them from afar. I found a chef's hat in one of the freed souls, and a second eye patch. I fast traveled back to Edgewater to tell Reed that the job was done. Forgot the powered regulator, fast traveled back to the gardens. Hired Parvati to be my permanent meat shield. Put the thing in the thing, and the unreliable lifted off. Traveled to the Groundbreaker, got the holographic thing. Found out my ship got impounded for not being my ship. Went to go get the science hammer so I could sell it for a decent price. Killed some mini heads guarding a door. Got the hammer. Got a 0% discount. Leveled up. Spoke to Udon and told him about his dead boyfriend who died by dying. He unimpounded my ship. Talked to Gladys about the nav key to Stellar Bay. Didn't have the bits to buy it, stingy grandma, and set my sights to Roseway. Got interrupted by some hobo, allowed him to enter my ship as long as he became my meat shield, watched some guy complain about getting doxxed, asked Ada about Sam, and landed in Roseway. Took Parvati instead of Felix because she is more useful than him at being a meat shield. Got scared by a few raptidons that looked like dead bodies, and after a few big boy screams, turned them into dead bodies. Parvati took a nap, so I shot her to show her what real pain is like. Got distracted by some dogs in the mood to be head patted by my bullets, and entered Roseway. Got a mission from this guy, got another mission to get this guy's enhancers, and got annoyed by this guy. Don't worry, they will all eventually feel the wrath of Long Jaw Jim. Saved some more slices of bread, sold some stuff to the old lady living inside of a box, and upon my exit from Roseway, these raptidons must have overheard how good I am at head patting, so I gave them what they craved, a good fucking head patting. Saw a very chonky snake, defended myself first from this robot, and Parvati graciously volunteered herself to take punishment for my actions. Used little effort to help out Parvati. She got tired in the middle of fighting. I tried to wake her up with some well-placed shots. Tried and failed to unalive this robot with the butt of my gun, but found out I was doing 0 damage to it. So I just kept to the tried and true method of shooting it in the mechanical dick, and woke up Parvati with the butt of my gun. Entered the lab to find a thing. Saw a foolish raptidon trying to enjoy a meal, and instead of shooting the explosive barrel right then and there, my dumb fuck brain decided to get a better angle on the barrel. Still committed to shoot the barrel, I missed and shot this idiot walking by where I was going to shoot. And as expected, when things don't go my way, I died. Retried, and things went a lot more better than before because I blocked off the radiation that was being delivered to my brain by the 5G tower located 10 miles away from where I live with a tinfoil hat drenched in bleach and urine. Leveled up, found this guy, heard him trying to leave, so I ran up to him to ask him a question and killed him. Again, I'm here to ask questions and shoot second, but if I can't ask questions, then I start shooting. Walked upon what could only look like a suicide and got spooked by some raptidons being eager beavers for a head pat. Had a tough fight between me and this raptidon, but was cut short by Parvati, so I hit her with her favorite wake-up alarm. While I was petting this dog, I saw one of God's insects kill itself. Ran into some thugs who thought they were cooler than me. As it turns out, they were cooler than me, because they absorbed all my bullets like an anime protagonist about to die. Needless to say, it didn't end well for me. Decided that they were not worthy of my time and moved on to these guys who took a reasonable amount of bullets to kill and got scared of this guy. How he got up this hill so fast is a mystery to me. Entered the secret entrance, killed some raptidons in the way, met the eyes of a sniper who left me alone, which was his first and only mistake because I made sure he could never see again with a bullet in his head. His friends saw that I was giving out free deaths, and they just couldn't miss the offer. Talked to this dummy who got stuck in a cage, made a deal with her, and went out of my way to save my future queen. Found this room and found it. The revolver that I have been looking for. The vermin. Put the sleepy night-night gas in the thing, pressed a few buttons, and put the raptidons to sleep. Then, just out of spite, I put them to forever asleep, so that they can become God's problem. Let her out of her bad girl cage so that I can be drenched in her thick and steamy praise for my giant throbbing heart, and killed her, because I'm not a simp. This guy thanked me for doing what was right. Found another vermin. Nothing noteworthy happened while I was going out to finish the other tasks, apart from killing a few robots, and returned the things to the people who ordered it. Leveled up. Decided that now was a good time to kill everyone since everyone's questions were answered. Tried to pickpocket this scientist, but he caught me. You may be wondering why I let him go free, and that is because I wanted him to be the one to warn off anyone who came to this town. Knocked Burke on his ass, and proceeded to bonk him on the head till he decided to die. Took a look to admire my work, and fast traveled back to the Unreliable so I could get to the Groundbreaker. Went to Gladys to report back on how useless I am, and as it turns out, useless people don't get sugar cookies. Then, Something swelled up inside of me. The thought of missing out on her sugar cookies made me want to kill everyone aboard the Groundbreaker. And that's exactly what I did. I first started off with the ship's captain and made my way down to kill everyone aboard, with the exception of the basement dwellers, to see if that would change the ending slides to where they ruled over the ship if I were to beat the game. You may think it's cheating using Sam and Parvati to help me kill everyone aboard the Groundbreaker, but did you know that SAM units are the longest lasting, toughest acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Killed nearly everyone aboard the Groundbreaker that had a red marker above their head with my band of rejects. Went to go kill Lilia, but she didn't seem angry at me. I thought for a moment that I should let her live, but it all went downhill when she decided to produce sound waves with a black hole that she calls a mouth, and because of her, I failed a mission. I couldn't let this stand, and decided that I would deal with her like a calm and mature adult during the Cold War and blasted that corporate bitch with the might of workers needed to create that bullet embedded inside of her head. And waddled my cucumber body over to the front of the ship to continue what I had already started. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel more times than the sun when the quarantine first started, which is not a lot, but surprising. Sold my new possessions to the money machine, told Ada that Gladys slipped on a chair and landed on my bullet, which made her body unable to live. Left the unreliable in the hands of a hobo and a walking Roomba to do God's work in fighting every living mistake on Monarch that had a red marker. A lot of what I did was just shoot anything that moves, so there's not much to say about what I did through Monarch during the first half of this adventure. Apart from it took me a while to get to Stellar Bay because every living creature wanted to take away my life privileges. Talked to this small robot called Intercom about philosophy and what is the meaning of being trapped in a room with a lock that locks from the inside. Intercom told me about future profits that awaited me inside the door next to him. Being the naive person I am, I opened the door and was given a human to talk to. I gained no profit and killed Stupid. But I was wrong, because Intercom did grant me fortune, that being 750 bits stashed in Stupid's body. Oh boy, thank you Intercom, I shall never question you again. Entered Stellar Bay, upgraded my weapons and repaired my armor. Talked to the local drunk because I forgot where Devil's Peak is and I needed another meat shield. She told me to steal from an old woman, went upstairs to sweet talk the door into letting me in, and got Nyoka's pills. Roofied Nyoka so that she could come with me, no questions asked. Leveled up, heard an old lady complain about her lost dog or something, and headed out to get information on the broker. Found some dogs in the need of petting, and realized that they weren't attacking Nyoka and Parvati because I set them both on passive, set them both on aggressive, only allowing them to use melee weapons, so that they could become somewhat useful at being useless. Found a cave with a marker in it, went inside, killed everything and gave Parvati a rake, because having them on melee is doing more damage to the enemy than when they had a gun. Leveled up, rescued this guy and made my way out of the hole of uncoolness. Went to the CP barracks to collect my reward for rescuing this guy, took their stuff, modified my weapons and killed these guys, because I had finished my mission and have no reason for them to live anymore. I will admit, they were tougher than any other human that I have fought so far. My walk got interrupted by this woman and her robot slave, then got interrupted again by marauders. And just like when the cockroach has had enough and starts to fly, I had the same reaction when this robot started to fly, and entered the Devil's Peak station. Intercom spoke to me again, but this time with a new name. Intercom told me about more treasures that awaited me just up the elevator. And treasures there were, in the form of blood bags that defended themselves and came in lifelike screams of fear. Talked to Hiram. He asked me to kill some people out of the kindness of my heart. I agreed. Left to Amber Heights. Listened to Human Pamphlet talk about pamphlets. Bought a shovel and gave it to Nyoka. Listened to Graham and thought, wow, fuck this guy, and decided to make it my mission that Zora became the new leader of the Iconoclast. Left to go get Graham's shit. I'm going to skip the parts where I just have to do Graham's missions and be his messenger boy, because nothing of note happened while I was doing Graham's tasks. But I was relieved to see the amount of damage that Nyoka and Parvati were doing, because I set the two up against a Raptidon and watched as the Raptidon knocked out Nyoka with the power of its dead brothers, and saw poor Parvati try until her dying breath to beat the Raptidon into unalive mode, but she was ultimately unsuccessful. I saw a Mega Mantiqueen and gave it the good old 1-2 fuck off to send it back to wherever hell it came from. I tried the same thing with another mantis, but I was taking too much damage and not dishing out enough, and killed it. Fast traveled back to Amber Heights and told mommy what a good boy I am. Zora found out that dad was cheating on her with a bitch named Celia, her words, not mine, and told me to leave her alone so that she can scold daddy. Told Graham that mommy knows what you did, and he started saying words. I don't know what the hell he was saying, but I got distracted by a piece of hair that landed on my hand. Something about a war, I think. And had a thought. If there is no enemy, then there could be no war. So I went to go kill Sanjar, after asking him questions. Parvati brought up a good point that these folks shouldn't suffer, and suffer no more. So I made sure that nobody could suffer by killing everyone. Finally, my expertise of being able to squeeze the trigger can come in handy. One by one, all the residents of Stellar Bay lined up to be relieved of their suffering. I was becoming a true angel. Saw a man sitting in his chair and left him alone, so that he could share the stories of my heroism in defeating the cloud that shrouds this town of suffering. Realized that I found a cowboy hat and became the most super cowboyiest cowboy that Law knew. And with that, everyone except the resident sitting in chair were dead. And everyone would hear about the hero named Long Jaw Jim, who lifted the spirits of the town called Stellar Bay. Fast traveled to Devil's Peak Station. I got asked to pull a Hiram's lever, and I obliged. Saw a cool spaceship commit suicide. Heard Graham bitch about something. Went to go harvest the remains of the dead ship. On my way, I got interrupted by Mantiqueen. So I showed her the same treatment that I did with her other, and gave her the good old 1-2 fuck you. Leveled up, and made my way to the suicided ship to harvest the amygdala of it. Fast traveled to Amber Heights to see if Mama Zora wanted to talk. She did, and she wanted to talk about overthrowing Graham, and I was in agreement. Graham, being the whiny bitch that he is, couldn't handle being overthrown like a man. I tried to cripple Graham so I could slowly kill him with the butt of my gun, but I didn't get my satisfaction. And with that, Zora became the new leader of the Iconoclast. And the second battle of the battle between MSI and the Iconoclast began. The Iconoclasts were doing most of the legwork, and at one point, I saw an Iconoclast send an MSI guard to the Shadow Realm with a single hit. This battle was more of a cakewalk than I expected, but it was done. Fast traveled to my spacecraft, went to my kidnapper's home. He told me about how cool he was behind bulletproof glass, and that he needed some cool ice Powerade to wake up my cowboy brothers and sisters. Leveled up, left to Byzantium, bought the exterminator, talked to Mayfield so I can make him go take his nap with his big boy bottle of his favorite drink, vodka. Watched my poor baby develop sudden infant death syndrome after 30 years or so of being alive right before my very eyes, and harvested what I could before the body went cold. Talked to Celeste to see if she had any cool cowboy outfits, and to my surprise, this high-end clothing store had no dusters to place upon my body. But I did see a poor defenseless brim with no Yankee, so I did what any self-respecting citizen would do, and took said brim. It would have been the perfect crime if I wasn't caught by some meddling guard and their stupid rules, and was on my way to talk to the American U.S. President of the United States of America. Got denied because I didn't have the President's package, left to go grab the President's package, got a hold of the President's package, among other things. Got in the heavily guarded house. Finally, I could clearly understand what a character was saying when they spoke with caps lock on. What a godsend! The Nokia that I had pointed at my TV stopped recording, something about insufficient storage or something. Saw that people were taking baths in the Powerade and took 100% of the Powerade because this shit is supposed to be drinked, not bathed in. And returned back to the unreliable. Saw a small lady in my computer asking to have a swig of the Powerade. I promptly told her to fuck off. Returned to Phineas, gave him all the Powerade that I had, and told him how bad the bad guys are. I was called a genius for the first time in this playthrough, and told to launch the Hope into Phineas's kidnapping rock. Leveled up, got handguns to 100, but the last point into block and dodge because I don't know what else to put it in. Programmed Ada into the Hope, patched Ada to the Hope, tried to do it myself, but I'm too stupid, and let Ada do it. And the Hope did a cool cutscene that went whoosh. Returned to the unreliable, Saw a small Dr. Wells panic about how there were people trying to take his Powerade, and left to Phineas's lab. Leveled up, put all my points into lockpicking, found Phineas's keycard in a pig, pressed a few buttons, got the nav key to Tartarus, and was about to make my way back to the Unreliable, but I thought about Bubbles, and could not stand the thought of leaving Bubbles alone for who knows how long. Let Bubbles enter the great conveyor belt in the sky, and return to the Unreliable. The crew wanted to talk to me about how great I am, and definitely not about the countless of lives I have slaughtered. Felix wanted to know my plan, whatever that is. Left to Tater Tot's Fun Adventure Park, a small man came on my screen. I got in the mood to be entertained by Ada. The meat shields were in the mood to die, so I took them for a walk. I tried to kill the flying Roomba, but missed what I would consider a point-blank shot. Fake died by closing my eyes. To say that I was unequipped for this mission would be a true statement, because I got killed a lot of times. But with each death, I came a few inches closer to my destination. Went down the elevator, thought I could take on this lone guard, but it turns out nobody liked the idea of him dying, because I died to something to the left of me. I decided to take on a different approach by using the elevator to my advantage. I killed a few guards here and there, went up the elevator till the guards decided to forget about me, and then rinsed and repeated the process. The security chose the right decision to run away from me because I had the high ground now. I took a few shots at them, did not enough damage, bought some supplies, and proceeded to the pit. Found a Vermin Mark II, put some mods on it, went back into the pit, tore apart this guard with a bullet, went up the elevator, and I completely forgot about the Iconoclast until they helped me out in my time of need. Talked to Rockwell. He said some very hurtful stuff to my meat shields, so I killed him, because I'm the only one who can make them feel worthless. Found some new cowboy equipment, talked to Sophia about philosophy, removed my new armor because it turns out it was shit, and went to go kill the warden. I knocked the warden on his ass, and shot every single bullet into his robotic dick. Nearly shit myself when he got back up, and saw a small flash of light when I witnessed the amount of damage the warden did. Killed the warden, which got rid of the flying Roombas around me, lucky me. Got the keycard, went up to Sophia. She started shooting at me. I got mad and spanked her like the bitch that she is with my bad girl bullet. Did victory squats on the way to her body. Leveled up for the last time. Freed Wells from his cock and ball torture machine. And did not beat Outer Worlds with only a revolver. If you stuck around to the end of this video, then I want to address the microphone and why it sounds so off sometimes. In short, I use a microphone from my earbuds, and my house can be loud sometimes, so I have to wait for my family to quiet down. My name is Random Martian, and if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing and have a good day.